And we have bananas in chat. And they've gone from bottom to top already because everyone is here on time, excited for the day of live streaming from the Hermitcraft servers as well. We're going to log on to the Season 1 server right now. And on here we shall be meeting Joe Hills somewhere. I don't know where Joe Hills will be right now because Joe is there. Okay, we know where Joe Hills is. Well, that is fantastic. So, welcome everyone to this live stream. Okay, Joe is having a couple of issues. So everyone is in the know here. Oh, whoopsie. Accidentally destroyed. Hey, I'm trying to Alt and Tab and I'm doing a terrible job of it. Right, so everyone is in the know. I'm going to be streaming with Joe, which means I can't give you all as much attention in chat. And with the noises in the ear. And in the pre-stream, we have BertieJ373 for 28 months. Winnie T. Ford for 13. Areni2 for 4 months. Gen1 Matt for 3. Stevie J1397 for 6. Fritoy911 subscribing with Amazon Prime. And Zekrom Sadistic throwing some cheers and bits. Saying cheer, 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 hi, Xisuma Void. Also, First Lady 01 is here resubscribing for 31 months. Incredible support, peeps. I thank you all ever so much. And, yeah, we're going to be focusing on the tour today as far as noises in the ear go. So, here's something that happened a moment ago before we started streaming. The spawn island wasn't here. I had to do some emergency re-uploading of the world. I don't know why, but it seemed to have reset the spawn chunks, and I'm hoping that the rest of the world is intact. The places I teleported to seem to be okay. So we might run into some problems today, but we're celebrating 7 years of Hermitcraft, and this is the very first world, and me and Joe are doing a tour of it. Ivan the Minecrafter, thank you for resubscribing. Headhunter and Mr. Timbo for 3 months there. Thank you so much for the wonderful support. I've never seen Season 1, says Tarindar. Well, now you're going to see it. Please bear in mind that this was all done a long time ago before there were lots of blocks added to the game. Anyway, I'm going to go and unmute myself in Discord, and I should probably give Joe a heads up. Okay. Where am I? I'm here, and now I need to unmute.
Sounds good, X. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you, Joe.
Howdy, Xisuma. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do on the Hermitcraft 1 server.
Recording and streaming.
Oh, yeah, I'm not recording at all. Good point.
That's true. Joe, I don't know if you saw I sent you a message, but there is a new feature on Twitch that allows 2 people who are streaming to be part of a squad, and it allows the viewers to see both streams at the same time. Are you aware of what that is?
No, I've never heard of that ever. Okay. So it says, can't invite Joe Hills due to squad stream access restrictions. Where do I change that?
Well, you might not need to change it straight away. If you go to your dashboard on Twitch, which I have open, I don't know if you have it open when you stream. It's got all the info about the stream on it. There's a...
No, because I don't like to know how many people are watching, but I'll open it now.
Alright, okay. Well, there is a squad stream panel, and then you can send an invite. So what might work is if you send an invite to me, we might then be able to hook them both up that way.
Squad stream panel. Wow, there's so many panels on here.
Yeah, they put a lot of info in.
Wow, this is all new. Okay. I don't actually see the squad stream panel. Where would I find that?
Okay, if it's not there by default, there's probably a way to add it, but maybe we shouldn't dwell on it too much. I can't remember how you add a new panel, so...
Yeah, I'm just going through the sidebar here. There's live, extensions, achievements, events, activity. Do you have to be a partner?
You want to be on the dashboard page. So Joe Hill.
Yeah, I'm on the dashboard.
And if you don't see it in a box, I'm just looking. I don't know how you go and add one. So should we just pass on it for today?
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks out there in television land. We tried.
We tried. I've been interested in that that feature since they added it and never had an opportunity. And then I realised today could have been that opportunity. But if I'd have thought about it sooner, I could have messaged you and we could have gotten on top of that.
No worries, Xisuma. When we do this again in 7 more years, we'll get it right next time.
That's right, yeah. By the way, how do you want to handle notifications, noise in your ear, thanks to the audience, that kind of thing. Should we take a moment every now and then just to thank all the peeps? Because I'm getting tons of noises in me here today.
Yeah, that's usually what I do, is like every 15 minutes or so I read back, like I'll take a quick break and say like, oh, thanks to all the people who donated, names, rather than just like having it continuous.
That's great. Yeah, I'd like to do it like that.
Okay, great. So everybody who's helping pay Xisuma money, keep doing that, but know he'll acknowledge you in 10, 15 minutes.
With due time, acknowledgement will be given. Cool. Excellent. So where would you like to start the tour? Here seems like a very appropriate place.
Sure. You know, for anybody who has never been on the Hermitcraft Season 1 server, this is our, what would you call this? Our spawn village, I guess.
Yeah, this is the actual spawn chunks, and this is where we all, created a spawn village together. That was kind of the thing to do, right? Everyone builds a little starter home here, and then they go off and do their own base. Something like that.
Yeah, I actually, and I think Generikb gave me this house. Somebody had started it, and I just replaced all the materials piece by piece as the season progressed until it was like a house of Theseus all my own.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down. Because I looked at it a second ago, and I was like, "There's Generik's little outpost," and then I see the sign, and I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I ended up adding a bunch of floors and stuff down here with like just more storage. And I always liked, this was before we had signs in the game where you could, or like item frames.
Yes.
So I always liked to put my storage chests on top of whatever I was storing. So like my netherrack would be on top of netherrack, logs on top of logs, that sort of thing. It's not a perfect system, and I didn't follow it 100% of the time, but it generally worked.
It's not something you see so much anymore. There's a lot of that going around this world. I've had a look and teleported to lots of places. There wasn't item frames, I think, when we started the world, but later on I found some item frames. I think
there's at least one.
The same goes at beacons as well. Like, there was no beacons when we started, but later on in the season, there beacons, I found them, you know.
Yeah, you're completely right, because there's at least one item frame with a book here, which I don't even know which book that is. I'm curious now. Oh, it is text. Oh, wow, these books are corrupted, actually.
Ah, yeah. I'm not
So
surprised.
It's got a bunch of extra characters in there. Text, open quotation, I need sand, new line, lots of sand, new line. I will give you anything for sand. Apparently, I am Spoon left that.
Yeah, we got Spoon's house here, the sandstone one. We have King Daddy Dmax starter home. This one was Biffa's. Yeah, Biffa's adobe, I remember this. And then a tree out in the distance. Wasn't this made by Cubehamster?
It was either Cubehamster or Topmass.
Okay, if you were going to say or Monkey Farm, I would have been like, it definitely wasn't Topmass.
Monkey Farm might be right. Monkey Farm might be right.
I've got a feeling it's Cubehamster. I believe like everyone expected him to do some big redstone stuff, and so the first thing he decided to do was to go in the opposite direction and just build a tree over there in the distance.
Yeah. This King Daddy Dmax house is also a reused building. It apparently was originally Hypno's, and I thought it was originally Generikb's. And Generikb had said, "Oh yeah, just when new people come in, just give them the little houses that I'd built in the spawn village." And so I was like, "Oh, here you go. Here's one of Generikb's houses." And Hypno's like, "What? Who's in my house?" I was like, "Oh no, sorry, Hypno."
So this one right here is my house. I think when you go around these buildings, you can really see how primitive some of the building style was. Like, there's no attempt to create a sense of like rooms or furniture or anything like that. You know, that's a common theme I'm noticing.
Well, because everything was so functional to some degree back then. Like, we were just trying to like, can I have a place to plant my trees? And like, here's where you're planting birch, you know, to grow birch.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
I had a cactus farm in my basement because we still needed to grow our own cacti, you know, that sort of thing.
That's right, yeah, very functional indeed. Keralis, though, when we see Keralis's base, that's when you see, you know, a lot of people play like he used to play now. Topmass too, actually. Topmass got a really great house design here. Furniture out the front. Little staircase. Not a crazy amount of detail, but some.
Now this is back when beds were only red. You'll notice there are no other colored beds in this entire server.
That's right. That's right. I believe Topmass, he also had something going on underground. There's a lot of things I've noticed in this game where you kind of remember it like it's epic. Like, oh yeah, that thing we did over here and that. And then you go look at it and you're like, oh, it's a bunch of cobblestone. You know what I mean?
But it's a bunch of great cobblestone. It's particularly well cobbled stone, Xisuma.
Yes.
You got to give us credit for that.
Now here's where cobblestone looks really fantastic. This is Keralis' house. Even this is a little bit dated just by the small block palette we used to have and how ugly the textures were back then as well. But this is, I don't know the proper way in.
Well, it's such a humble shack that it doesn't need to announce its entrance.
Brilliant. I found a way in though. But yeah, Keralis' style was like cutting edge back then. I guess there's not a lot of furniture in here. I think when we go to his base we'll see some furniture and whatnot.
Oh, I found the stairwell up. But yeah, you're right. The rooms are mostly empty.
Yeah, you don't have much to talk about when you're in them now. Like, the game's come a long way, really. A really long way. I mean, this is 7 years old, this world, right?
Yeah. Well, we started on it 7 years ago. I mean, we ran this world for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I probably should have looked that up before we started.
I think it was a year and a couple of months. And then the season 2 was the longest, with a year... And I think it was like a year and a half. And then... Season 3, 4, and 5, I think, were all consecutively longer than one another. Something like that. I remember building this and thinking it was amazing. It was just an entrance to some mines. But now I look at it and I'm like, it's not that good. There's going to be a lot of that going on today. This used to be amazing. It's not that good.
I mean, I still appreciate it. But maybe I've got nostalgia glasses on. Because, like, you know, this is... when I started on this server, our daughter wasn't born yet. Like, my life was entirely different, you know, like, in massive ways. And I'm glad that my life has changed in significant ways. But, you know, your life can be good regardless of the stage of life you're in.
Yeah.
So it just reminds me of a different type of good life.
Same here, really. Like, 7 years ago, obviously a long time. But, yeah, my life was very different back then. I was a different sort of person as well. But, you know, Hermitcraft kind of, in a way... It kind of what would be the word, chronological or something? It kind of dates growth. Like, whenever I go and look at all the different seasons, it just vividly reminds you of parts of your life, right? Because we've been doing this for so long, and it's like, it's also something that takes a lot of time to do, playing on here in survival. So this is Cubehamster. I think it's a tree farm, but this is what people expected him to do, to come on here and build crazy redstone contraptions. And that's what he's done. I've just realised I've got no sound here. There we go. So yeah, he came on and just built this platform out, and then built this big old tree farm contraption. I think there might have been a couple of other things going on here as well. Is this one of those old sand duplicators?
It might be. You know what? I had forgotten this platform wasn't even here. He built this entire thing out into the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which at the time, like, this doesn't seem that big now.
It seemed huge then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, that's like 25 times bigger than my house's plot. You know, it's funny, we all had such tiny house plots back then, too.
I think it represents the amount of time you could put into the game. Like, this was when we only just first had enchantments, and gathering resources and stuff was still kind of slow. You know, you didn't have... I don't think you had an ender chest yet. But you certainly didn't have shulker boxes. And so
yeah,
if
we
you
got ender chests by the end of the season, but not at the beginning.
But if you wanted to build something, like, you had to take trips. You had to, like, really organise all sorts of different things, like getting all the resources, then moving them around, and some other slow things as well, like travel. I believe I've lost you, by the way.
I'm still out on the platform. Where are you?
I'm at the towers. I wanted to show off these towers next, because around here I did a bunch of communal projects. Like, there's tree farms, there's a skeleton spawner farm
down here?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, it still works apparently.
Oh, it looks like it. This had Yeah, it had like a drowning mechanism or something. Like you could choose to have the drops delivered to you. Didn't have hoppers. No hoppers. You had to stand here and the drops would come to you. So if I do that and it still works, look, the water comes out to here. Because we didn't have hoppers to collect the drops automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other side means they dropped here and you could kill them one-hit kill and get the XP. Which is cool. But out here, this is my favourite of all Hermitcraft builds. The melon and pumpkin towers. They were just really well received by everyone here in the community. Just the classic design, really. This has been built on every season of Hermitcraft except our current one. And I plan on changing that.
Yeah, these were definitely a big hit. And they seemed so tall at the time, too. It's such a little thing to think about, but like just our concept of height has changed, because I think the world height limit used to be 128 and then they increased it to 256 during season 2.
Yeah, that's right. Also, we now have rockets and wings and we can fly like high up into the sky, and so that I think that kind of naturally draws buildings a little bit higher, you know. What have we got? So many things. It's a chicken farm over here. Booyah. Yep. Should we do a little reading of the... Oh! What are the odds? Literally got 4 in 1. That's extremely rare.
Wow. This is truly an auspicious occasion.
Yeah. Do you want to... should we go through the noises in our ear?
Yeah. Should we both mute our own mic... Or mute Discord?
We can leave it running. You want to do yours first, I'll do mine after. Something like that.
Yeah, I didn't have mine pulled up entirely. But I'm going to say my list is probably going to be shorter than yours. Thank you for $20 to Will Kilo, who writes, "Morning, Joe, so early." And then that's the entire list of all the donations I've received.
Okie doke. I got a few here. Let's have a look. Okay, so Katz has gifted a sub to Estelian. We have the Legans, subscribe Amazon Prime, Mr. Timbo for 3 months. We got Blind Nick Namer 5478 for 15 months. 50s Rock Chick, Riffraff gifting a sub to Ethan Swan. Birdie for 15 months. Esney 97 for 6. Josione 54, Big Papa House, Meow Light for 12 months. That's a Goldie face in chat. Iomia. GBV for 28 months, and we've got the Vixen 38 throwing some bits, and I Live Cats throwing some bits as well. Cat says, everything you used to seem pretty because you used to be awful in Minecraft, so everything seemed better. Cats, jeez. Well, first of all, just thank you everyone so much for the massive support. Be sure to send some Joe's way as well. I mean, Joe, you're like a true... You're the closest thing to a true hermit there is, you know? Like, you were here in Season 1, you were recruited very early on, and you've been with us along this, like, 7-year journey.
Yep, I was the first recruit to the server after the launch, and thank you for saying that, because immediately I got £2 from Kiana Henderson and $5 from Medieval Vixen, so clearly the people care about your opinion about where their money should go.
That's fantastic.
So thank you, Xisuma, and... Thank you, Medieval Vixen and Kiana Henderson.
So yeah, thank you to everyone there for the support. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, Cats. What do you think about what Cats said? Did we used to be awful at Minecraft? Or... Yeah, I'll tell you what my opinion is. I think if you turned up and did this stuff today, it would look awful. But I think the community in the game evolves with the game, right? The way we play and build and the things that we do within it. I think it kind of grew alongside the game itself.
I'm actually gonna argue that Katz is incorrect. I have gotten worse at Minecraft, but I've gotten better at architecture and logic and all sorts of other things that make me more entertaining. Like, my videos have gotten better while my Minecraft skills have gotten worse, because I don't know all the new updates. Like, I used to study every single change to the game obsessively during Season 1. And now that I've got a kid, it's like, oh, okay, I guess there's llamas now. Let's go find a llama. Okay, we pet it. Let's move on. Let's go build something I saw in a book about architecture. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go.
Yeah, and now you've got an audience of people as well that make it feel worse, because they know the game inside out, and then they're going to call you out if you do something wrong. But back when we were doing this, everything was like fresh and new, and rarely did you get called out on anything you did. It was all sort of interesting. Everyone was exploring the game together. I will say this style right here on host, this is really fantastic architecture and building. I think block palette and whatnot looks terrific, and it's very humble.
Yeah, I love. I remember sandstone. I think might have been new during season 1, or at least not the fancy creeper face sandstone. I don't think was in the game initially until they added desert temples.
Yeah, that was this definitely the creeper face came later. I've got a feeling sandstone may or may not have been there like early on. I don't know if they did that. I know that sand was there early on.
I think there was normal sandstone, but we didn't have the polished sandstone or whatever, and we definitely didn't have the quartz. Unhost was one of the last people to join, I think, in season 1, and so his house really showcases the later blocks.
It does, yeah, definitely, and you can see how it's like going in a better direction for the game. There's also a couple of wall blocks over the end there. I'll point out.
Yeah.
I believe over here on the left is a build that you did, right? This roof. Seems very Joe Hill.
Yeah. I don't even remember. Was this some sort of weird courthouse, or I feel like I was trying to do something different here.
This, I'm sure, was a courthouse. I remember as soon as I saw it, I was just thinking courthouse. I mean,
well, we've got the compass at the judge's stand to point the direction toward truth.
Ah,
of course.
That's great. And the direction is towards that other building.
Yeah, that way. Unhost nailed it.
Oh, brilliant. This is kind of like the end of the spawn area. We were
Aurelian's house was actually... Do you remember? Aurelian's house was kind of down that way.
It's over there. It's like a miniature swamp, isn't it?
Yeah. And she seems like she's doing great these days. She's working for Twitch, and... it's so cool to see people who moved on from Hermitcraft and are doing really cool things with their lives,
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mention that. Just yesterday I was looking up Pungence's channel, and I found out that he's co-authored a book that it seems his audience really, really enjoy, which is fantastic. Yeah, I remember this. This right here is from me. I'm pretty sure. As soon as I saw this, build off. Oh yeah, Keralis and BOO are having a build-off. That never actually happened.
So many things never actually happened, but that's part of the joy of video games, is not everything has to be real.
That's true.
I remember Aurelian's house. She had this plan
the basement.
when she first, where she was going to chain us all up.
Yeah, wasn't Generikb like locked in here for an episode or something?
Yeah, she had this thing where she would lure us here with promises of cakes or something. This was like her witch house from like old fairy tale type thing.
Yeah, I do remember Xisuma and Pungence getting locked up in jail in season 2 and doing entire episodes from inside their jail cell, which amused me greatly.
Oh yeah, there's a lot you can do with just a camera and a microphone. Like, this game is so flexible. It's funny because a lot of newer viewers expect everything to be, it's got to be gigantic and it's got to be dynamic, but like, you can still just do a lot from one room.
Yeah, totally.
I like this wool tree. This is interesting.
I'm trying to remember who built this. I think it might have been Unhost, or possibly Cilantro.
Oh, yeah, this feels like a Cilantro gamer build.
I was looking at his base.
Is still out there streaming some days.
Yeah, he was quite advanced for the time. Like, going back and looking at it, it was pretty clever build style. So we've seen most of this. Is there anything else here in the spawn area you think we should cover, or?
I'm happy to. I figure let's go ahead and wander through a portal and show folks the old Nether hub before we continue.
Okay,
on.
Unfortunately, all the Nether portals get broken by updating to 1.13, so no Nether portals will work, and that's why I had to put together this list. But I can take us to the Nether hub very easily.
Well, I was going to say, if you have a ladder, we can just go relight the portal. I've tried this in single player, and it will take you to the nether hub, just not to where the original portal was.
Yes, it will create a new one because the old ones are all unlit. We can do it that way. Also,
yeah, I mean,
while you're heading that direction, we can show off the nether hub. There's also a gaming area that we built on the opposite side of the spawn area. Do you have game mode 1?
I'm not sure.
Would you like the ability to fly?
Sure. I believe I can fly.
There we go. So over on the opposite side, there was like the very first idea of a gaming district, but it never moved beyond, I think, 4 games, or was there 5 games here? We had Connect 4. Keralis made a shooting game where you shoot arrows, and so did Redeye as well, I believe. Make a shooting game. And then there was also basketball. This has got hoppers. I didn't think we had hoppers in this season, huh?
Oh, you know what? They did have hoppers. I remember when they first added them, they had a different recipe, but we must have got them right toward the end.
That's fascinating. I really thought we played this season without. Yeah, like you said, it was probably right at the end that we got it. Superb. So,
you know, I remember that Generikb actually said one of the reasons he chose this seed was because of the mushroom biome so close to spawn.
Yeah,
like,
they would have been kind of new and exciting.
Houses. Yeah.
I guess. Oh, and then... Oh, Joe, you got to come here. You got to do this.
Oh, the unstable stable.
Yep. Hang on, I'm going to go in the Oh, I hope this doesn't update it. No. Okay, I'm in the unstable stable. Do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was one... This was designed so you could destroy... Oh, no, there wasn't just one block you could destroy to knock the whole thing down. You'd have to knock down all 4 of these, but yeah.
Oh, I flew out.
Yeah, that was...
Trapdoors are no longer dependent. They used to be dependent on other blocks.
Yep, and the idea was that I wanted to have a stable with maximum instability. Because, you know, what's the point of putting a video up on the internet if it makes sense?
Yeah, I love it. Oh, that's a classic Joe Hills moment right there. Okay, let's see where this takes us. Obviously to the nether. Oh, that would have been me earlier. I had to light it up because I had some issues where our spawn disappeared entirely and I had to re-upload it. Not sure what happened. There is something really cool in this that I've also forgotten about. We had a shopping district in this nether hub.
Oh yeah, the little mall here, which I loved so much. It was such a fun little idea. Are you looking for it? I'm scanning right.
I'm doing a little like 360 just to show the peeps the hub. It's like
I love the
platform
Xbox.
in the middle.
I'm gonna do the same.
With chains holding it all together, and then 2 layers of walking space. The angels with bent halos foundation. Oh, I forgot how far it goes back. The whole role-playing stuff and shops. I don't know why, but I thought shops was like a thing unique to season 2, but of course we had this in season 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the idea of having shops, I remember, was really common in multiplayer servers in general, because it used to be that the terms of service allowed people who ran servers to just sell things for cash. And so almost every, like, open public multiplayer server would be like, hey, you get some diamonds if you give us $5.
Wow.
So us being like, whoa, you could... Oh, yeah, this is a shop where you can trade ladders for wool or ink for carrots.
I prefer this sort of economy to the cash for diamonds economy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and here we have our public project resources area, you know, which was the predecessor to the, you know, like, hey, you want to do a big build, here's a bunch of stuff type of thing. What do we call that? Yesh, I think we called that in Season 5. Y'all each share hermits. Yesh. It was next to the NHO sign. Because I'm a jerk.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like it's a place just to put things that you don't need for other people to Hey, why are there iron bars here? Did someone? I think someone went and shut down all the shops at one point.
Yeah, the Goon Squad, which I'm trying to remember who
I think that was
exactly that
basically
was.
the
I
B team
think that
with
was.
Schism and Pungence.
Yeah, I don't think Schism and Pungence were here yet. I think that might have been who's Pungence's brother? I'm blanking on his name. BOO. I was gonna say we hung out in Vegas. I should know this guy's name.
That
but yeah,
was season 1 they
BOO
joined. Definitely season 1.
Well, oh yeah, you're right. Here's Pungence, King Midas's beautiful accidents. Oh, that's actually a funny concept for a gold shop. King Midas's jeans, King Midas's tennis shoes, King Midas's baseball cap. Oh, this is a joke so good I wish I had thought of it. That doesn't happen often. Awesome. Thank you, Pungence. You have made my day.
I got my TNT shop over here. TNT for diamonds. Okay. This is someone's shop. And then this is the Tea-Eaters agency shop thing, where you can essentially request the Tea-Eaters to come and do some shenanigans, which was me and Biffa. And this was our shop.
Yeah, you guys had some fun stuff early on, like with your roleplay. Like you had that was the secret agent thing in season 1 or season 2.
That was
like,
season 1. I think it might have carried over to season 2 a little bit, but season 1 was where it all went down, where we broke into Generik's. Well, you broke into Generik's base first and filmed it to watch him going in there. Then we went over there and did some shenanigans, and we had all sorts of adventures.
That episode where I broke into Generik's base is still one of the most popular episodes I've ever made. I get comments on it like every week. It's insane. Yeah, like out of everything I made, for some reason that's one of the ones that like resonated the most with people.
Yeah, it's how YouTube works sometimes, right? Like it gets these videos where it'll always put it somewhere and recommended, and someone will start watching it and enjoy it. So, where should we go from here? Is there anywhere in particular? I know that most of these nether tunnels... Oh, I tell you who has a great nether tunnel and a great base as well.
Sure.
Do you remember what Redeye's setup on here was like?
Yeah, let's head that way.
So, EFO is a part of Hermitcraft, but like, looking back on it, I think Redeye's was like our EFO on here back then. The way he played was really kind of like... Oh, this is the wrong tunnel. I think it's actually the next one over. He had a very like tinkerer's mind for sort of messing around in the environment, right? And so he has loads of like technical projects that some of them don't even have objectives, right? Like it's not like, oh, I'm gonna make a mob farm so I can get gunpowder and make TNT. It's just like I'm gonna try and make a mob farm that's different from anything you've seen before. And so this is his tunnel to his area, and he decided to just leave this thing kind of open so that Gas can shoot it, and that he had to like maintain it from time to time. And he then also decorated it with grass and these big walls of fence posts that would stretch up into the sky. And it was just a very different way of playing, which I really found inspiring.
Yeah, when I initially, like, when they added the Nether in the Halloween update, I was so terrified of it all the time. I would always want to be enclosed. I'd be building little walkways as I went. And Hermitcraft really taught me not to be afraid of the Nether. Like, it's okay to just wander on Redeye's path. I
think there was a time when the Nether was quite difficult. Like, it was quite a tough and scary place. But remember, this game's gotten really easy over time. They had enchantments. They just give you buffs without really giving you more risk. And so being in the Nether isn't quite as hairy as it once was.
That's true, yeah, because we didn't have fireproof potions. We didn't even have brewing stands, or... I think we did have blazes, because I remember... Vetches sending blazes after me in certain super hostile maps before this.
Oh, super hostile! Wow, you were a super hostile guy.
Yeah, that's actually how I started. Yeah,
you were one of the 4. There were Cleo was one of them as well. There were 4 of you who he used to promote, and I think that's how I first watched your videos and first watched Cleo's, was through checking out super hostile playthroughs.
Yes, it was Team Tunnel Rat was myself, Cleo, Pause on Pause, and Zisto.
That's it? Yeah, that's the 4 right there. Oh, wow.
Yep. And Vetch has also promoted Good and BOO and Etho and some other folks because like we would do all sorts of events. He really did an amazing job of connecting the community early on.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
He unified us in a way that a lot of people didn't know was possible.
I'm getting really nostalgic about those days now. You know, like for a lot of people watching right now, super hostile. They might not even be aware of it, but it felt like back then it was like a big deal. Like, hey, someone's taken the Minecraft game and then made these amazing maps to play. And it was also organic as well, everything about this game, you know? Community kind of just came up with everything. So we're now into like Redeye's nether half of the base. And this, I think on this side there is a magma cube farm where the magma cubes end up going onto the cactuses and into the hoppers. I know that there is a big wither skeleton cage somewhere, and this is way before like Psycraft and what's the other one? JL2579. What was his group called?
Oh,
blanking. Zip
I wasn't
Crowd.
connected to them. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the technical community, like these guys came along and just like brought in some concepts and ideas that just made like farming so much more powerful but standard as well. And like the stuff that you'll see here in Redeye's base was sort of before that, so they're very much born out of an earlier time where not everything was known. I'm struggling to find his farm here. I think I've gone past it. I'm gonna fly.
There's some sort of This is really cool how he incorporated the Nether Fortress into the base.
Yes.
I don't think wither skeletons spawned yet, and so that wouldn't have been a concern the way it was later.
I believe they did, because this was a farm for that. Like when
really?
when they updated the Nether like that and put fortresses in, I think skeletons were there from the get-go.
Gotcha. That must be why he came so far out to get to new chunks then.
Could well be, yeah. Yeah, good thinking. That's probably why it's so far away.
Oh,
I
wow,
also
he's got this whole brick
looked
building
at the
here, too.
overall Hermitcraft world, and we you didn't explore as much of the world back then. There's it's a small world, you know, and so you didn't have to travel too far, but it was still a big deal to travel.
Well, I remember Hypno's base on Hermitcraft. He actually on season 1 he made a second base because he felt like people were getting too close to his original base, which was me and Cilantro Gamer. Sorry, Hypno.
While we're on it, before we go look at Redeye's base, I can teleport us there quickly to Hypno's really ridiculously far away base.
Yeah, let's do this Mythbuster style where we say, hey guys, we're going to look at Redeye's amazing base, but first, let's go to Hypno.
Yes.
I love it. Let's do it. We're like a real TV show.
Oh, that gave us an achievement. Oh, for a second there I thought the world might have reset. This is his base. I have a very vivid memory of one of his thumbnails. I think it was when we did April Fools and he decided to change all of the grass to emerald blocks. And he did it all in creative mode, and it really annoyed his audience. But I always remember this build with the emerald blocks. It's like just one of those things that sticks in your mind, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. I love how builds look in the middle of jungles, and we don't really do that much on Hermitcraft anymore. That's something, because I had a jungle build in Season 1, because jungles were also pretty new at the time. And, maybe for Season 7, whenever we get to that, not to tease that too much in a long time when we do Season 7, maybe I'll do a jungle. Sorry, Suma.
You're not supposed to talk about Season 7, okay? It's not starting after the 7-year anniversary weekend stream. It's not starting with 1.14. Don't give anything away. Jeez.
Oh man, if we had thought to start Season 7 on the 7th anniversary, that would have made us look like geniuses. But we didn't. Sorry, guys.
We didn't. That's it. Can't watch Hermitcraft anymore. We failed. We failed to launch the 7th season on the 7th year. Although, wasn't Season 5 launched... It couldn't have been on the 5th. What if this is actually like the 8-year anniversary and I've like got on a year off in my calculations?
Actually, hold on. So wait. Because I started playing Minecraft. I did my first super hostile map on like June 11th of 2011. So if I started playing Hermitcraft 1 year later. That would have been 2012, which is 7 years before 2019. I think we're
correct.
Basic
We're correct.
correctly.
It's April 2012. It is right. But I think it's one of those things where, Oh, do you know what? I can't be bothered to do math now.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like I've spent like almost a quarter of my life on Hermitcraft, which is insane.
Yeah. Wow. That's an interesting thought. Like thinking of it as a percentage. That's alarming.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
In terms of Hypno's base, there's some stuff underground. Do you know how to pop into spectator mode?
Oh, no, but I'm let's see.
You press F3 and then N, and it will swap you. In fact, I'll also then quickly TP Joe to Xisuma, and this is just below the ziggurat, is it called, that we saw up above?
Yeah, ziggurat's the correct nomenclature.
And then he's got a mine shaft all the way down to the bottom that's decorated the same. It's a very nice build palette, considering how ugly some of the builds we've seen were. And like, Hypno isn't considered a builder. He picked some pretty blocks to put together and made a... This is a very nice aesthetic. Like, I'm now thinking I would like to build like this, just using the leaves as walls. Looks seriously good.
Yeah, using the leaves to obscure the accent color, but allowing it to poke through and parallax as you walk past is a really cool effect. And I wish I had thought of that. But the thing is, like, I can always steal the idea 7 years later as long as I credit him.
Yeah, just steal it 7 years later. Brilliant. Ah. So before we hop over to Redeye's, should we do some noises in the ear?
Oh, yeah, sure. I have a lot more people to thank, thanks to your earlier announcement, Xisuma. If I can get YouTube or Gmail to show them all. Thank you for the donation from Badger, DTG Josh, John Swope, Sarah M, Abigail, Gail Aviv, I Love Cat. Oh, whoops. I hate it when people say, don't say my real name, but their real name is at the top. Thank you, Keralis Sophia. And on the YouTube live chat, where is that list? Thank you to Quaqueg1, who is Mekev24, 50s Rock Chick, and JT November. Thank you, one and all. And Xisuma, it's to you.
Awesome. You're not using a program to consolidate all of the information you need to see, right?
No, I never do that because I work with computers all day at work and I know how unreliable they are. And so all I want to do when I come home is play Minecraft. And so I'm just like, whatever. Normally I get like very few donations, so it doesn't really matter because my streams are a lot smaller than yours. But anyway.
I can understand that, yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where we left off. Okay, I think I've got it. Alright, so Little Joe, 27 for 12 months. Or sorry, 13 months. Queg 1 for 6. Mod Engineer for 5 months. Badger Spanner with cheers and bits. Sending love towards the moderators for helping out in chat. I will extend the same thanks to them as well for being here today. On a day where, you know, you and I are talking to each other, Joe, so chat are just talking amongst themselves. I have been looking over and reading. So I appreciate you mods for doing that. Thank you, Badger. We got Zapdos26 for 41 months. We got Mixinu for free. Joke to Win for 15. Super Cookie 7887 for free. Then we got Rendog TV dropping in some cheers and bits, saying, as a hermit who only joined in Season 4, just wanted to say how awesome it is seeing the history of this amazing server that literally changed my life. Thank you for this, lads. Ren, thank you for the cheers and bits, man, and we're more than glad to have you as a part of the Hermitcraft community. Of course, doesn't need to be said, but I feel like making that, you know, known. And I think you're gonna have a lot of fun watching the season tours for 2 and 3. I think, just to be fair, I think 2 is probably the most interesting, and I am unfortunately gonna miss all of 2 and 3's tour. I might have to fire up my laptop and see if I can watch while I'm out and about doing things. Anyway, not to waffle. Riffraff has gifted a sub to Ren. Thank you for doing that, Riffraff. Katz is here with a couple of bits saying, hey, remember when X used to be smart and did redstone? That was a long time ago. What a trolly message that is. Jeez. And Katz says, I'm really
Xisuma,
sad.
You're still smart.
Oh,
you're
thank
still
you,
smart.
Joe.
Don't
Thank
worry.
you for saying that. I'm really sad we're watching the season 1 and you have a normal voice. Hashtag bring back boring X. Well, my voice will be a little bit calmer than usual because of the nature of the stream. So in a way, it's a little bit more like how I used to talk. Joe, you might remember how I used to talk. It was very kind of slow and unanimated.
You know, what I realized going back and watching old videos is that I used to talk slower too. But what I realized is that I would get annoyed at how slow I talked when I was editing. And so every day I would start recording. I'd be like, I'm going to talk faster than I did yesterday because I hated how long it took to edit that video. And so now I talk way faster after 8 years of cumulative slight increases in speech speed.
Yeah, if you go back and watch any old creator, there's always like some progression from either being slower or just being less animated to like where they are now. It's like something we all learn. We all, like, because you have to listen to your own voice back over and over again, you learn to take it where you want to take it. But let's jump to Redeye's base now. Thank you everyone for the support. Appreciate it ever so much.
Yes, thank you one and all.
And this is Redeye's base. I've teleported us in front of his weird mob farms where he made an open one in the side of the mountain. And it was a flushing design. And you used to just stand in front of it and you'd watch all of the mobs fall down, which was kind of different, you know.
Oh, this is really cool. You know, I really one of the things I really miss about old Minecraft was the water-based item movement. Like the piston or not pistons, the hoppers and whatever. Yeah, they're fine, but like there's just something pleasing about watching the items flow on the water that we lose.
That's true, and I kind of brought that back a little bit for myself this season by doing those pipes that distributed the items into the buildings as opposed to hoppers. And that was quite well received. So it's one of those things like in Minecraft, you're always trying to get your imagination onto the canvas, right? And sometimes you're drawn into looking at things like it needs to be a solution rather than a creative expression. Because we all like seeing things like aqueducts, right, in a world. I mean, they look cool, but it's just too easy just to throw down hoppers or to do some easier, like, redstone solution, you know, than doing things the interesting way. And I think Redeye actually exemplifies doing things the interesting way.
Oh yeah, this is an insane build, and once again, this is a beautiful jungle build. Because we were just so enamored with the jungles at this point, because they were so exciting and new. That this was the first time we had tall trees that were 2x2.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't add the other trees until later.
They are a very gorgeous biome. They look really good. They're probably one of, if you were going to make a list of the best biomes, you'd probably have jungle on there.
Oh yeah.
In terms of looks. And I like the way Redeye's has just come in here and all his little projects are, oh yeah, this one, carved out of the landscape, you know. It's all very organic and free-flowing. Oh, there's just so much stuff everywhere that I don't know what it is. Oh wow. How's he done that? Ah. Old school item filter. So yeah.
Oh, and I love this little greenhouse down here where he's got all the glass like over the trees. You don't need, there's no reason you need to have a roof on a building like this. But it's great.
Wait, I'm not where you are, but I found...
You are where I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about literally the same building you're looking at.
Okay, the way you described it a second ago, I thought you meant you put glass on top of the natural trees.
No, there's glass on the roof, is what I'm saying. Like, you could just build a tree farm and have it open to the air. But he said, no, I'm going to collect a bunch of bricks. Which bricks were also so expensive back then, because clay used to be before swamps, this must have been one of the most expensive builds, like, in the game, basically.
You say that, I tell you, there's always been a good way to get clay that's a little bit easier than you might think, and that is just to follow a river. If you go down a river, rivers tend to, like, go a long distance in this game. and they're full of little patches of clay. But then you got to like travel all the way down the river and then travel back again, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Travel was tough back then.
Effort. Well, we had boats was the only thing, and I think boats were slightly easier to control originally.
Yeah.
They kind of changed the control scheme, but like, yeah.
Wow, I'm finding like there's so many little areas tucked away of Redeye's base. Like I found a storage system and some more farms. He did a lot in this area. He did a lot of stuff, which reminds me to fly up high. There's another mob farm up here.
Yeah, wow, I went underground. I'm in spectator mode, and he's got this huge branch mine down here.
Whoa, I see
arrayed in a very regular pattern. My mines are always just kind of a mess. I've never actually looked at them in spectator because I don't want to feel bad about myself. But this is really nice looking.
He's got a farm down here, a 3 spider spawner farm, and then he's decorated it with quartz blocks. That's dedication right there. Wow. That's awesome. So do you have any other places you want to go check out? I think we've seen a lot of what Redeye's has done here.
You know, honestly, I wasn't super familiar with his base myself, so I think we've probably seen everything I could name.
Okay, let's have a look through the list then. Do you want to go to your base?
Yeah, we could. It's going to be a lot of me talking about me.
That's fine. That's fine by me. I want to be reminded because I went there yesterday and then all of a sudden I started having like, you know, the memories come back of what was done. So this, I don't think this is the beginning of your base. This is just the path that goes through it. This is the
beginning of mine.
Oh, okay. It is.
No. So my nether portal. So at one point when they added nether portals, Notch had said that he was going to change them so that ghasts came out of them sometimes. Oh. And so I built my portal really far from my base, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
I did not know that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that was in the original announcement for the Halloween update. And then he never said he decided not to do that, so I just didn't want to have it near everything. So we've got a path that actually leads in the wrong direction. This is this path literally goes nowhere. That was just to confuse people, because I wanted my base to be kind of terrifying and off-putting, which is also why we have these organic nether kind of structures, tentacles type things here.
It's funny, I was looking at the path and I was trying to like piece it together, like where was this supposed to go again? Like I was expecting to find something at the other end. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was just to distract people, so they wouldn't go to my secret redstone lab, which is in the total other direction. You'd have to ender pearl through the trees or jump through the trees. I guess we might not have even had ender pearls initially. It was a real pain. You had to trudge out here.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be. I wanted my base to feel kind of remote, even from the nether. And so on the roof somewhere here, there should be a ladder down into the redstone lab. Now, Generikb had explicitly invited me to join the server because I was not a redstoner or a builder. I was something weirder. But I was like, I wonder what I could do with redstone. So I built things like... I have a NOT gate here. I don't know what half of these machines do anymore. But, you know, this is just one of those things where, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, here's how you... Episode 6, Piston and Gate.
That shoots you.
Apparently it shoots you. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I just had all these ideas for dumb little inventions. Oh, and this was when note blocks were first added. I had a little addition here. But yeah, I wanted to have this part of the mountain. I loved this mountain because you could see out. And I thought, I'll surround this whole area with different builds. And then when I'm in the lab and I'm filming, you'll be able to see cool stuff in the background.
Yeah. That's a very common thing I've noticed with old bases, is that people like to go to mountains and like build inside them. The very first server that I played on, myself, my friend who was like the admin, and like 3 or 4 other people all did that exact same thing. Just go into the side of something and build windows and look out onto the terrain. So you got something in your base I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
This over here has a story behind it. The Victory Monument?
Yeah, this was a reference to Vetch's super hostile victory monuments, and Generikb decided he was going to create challenges around the server for me to try to take on, and then as I defeated them, I would earn wool to complete it, because he wanted to make me feel more at home. And, yeah, it was kind of a nice little fun thing.
I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, so I got to break into his base, and over here, when we announced that my wife and I were going to have a baby, Generikb built me a practice crib for Joe Hills III, who we actually ended up naming Corinne. But that's fine. Corinne's a better name. Let's see. Over here, this structure in the middle of the bay was my first home on the server, and it's a real basic kind of... I've got food on the back porch here. I've got a bed that would be hard for monsters to spawn nearby, because they had added you couldn't sleep if there were monsters nearby, or whatever. I've got like, oh, here's extra armor in case I die type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just that real basic things. And then, oh, over here I've got a little, I had, for a while, I decided to do like a 4 o'clock, like 2-minute episode every day, and I called it Transatlantic Tea Time, and I would try to build something British.
I remember it, yes. I remember it fondly.
So you might recognize this building here. Maybe.
It's supposed to be Big Ben, right?
Yeah, as well as the structure adjacent. And
yes.
so, yes. And then up here we have a security camera, a CCTV camera for another Transatlantic Tea Time episode, because they were very popular in London at the time.
Yes, yeah, I know.
And then this is when they had the iPhone came out. Built this.
I did look at it and wonder what's that. Now it makes so much more sense. It's like the screen and yeah. And this boat over here, it's got a birthday cake on it. Was this a prank or was this something that you built?
This was something I built. It has not only a cake but also a giant knife blade for cutting the cake. And this was a monument to thank the donors who contributed to me buying a computer. I think I have the specs on here. An i3770K processor, GTX 660 Ti, which was also pretty good. I wrote down.
I think that processor was the one of same one as my computer that I've recently just replaced. So it lasted over 7 years.
Yeah, that computer lasted me a long time. It died about a year and 3 months ago. It died right when that big Heartbleed.
Oh, I remember it. The security exploit.
Yeah, and so I was just like, well, I don't want to buy a new computer until they fix that in the silicon. And so instead I bought like a $600 used machine that I've been recording on ever since. But one day Intel's going to get their processor fab together, and I'll replace my $600
forgot about that when I brought mine. I completely forgot that there was that built-in security flaw. The thing is, though, they have a workaround for it, like with Windows operating system or whatever you're using on top of it, but it means it performs slightly under, like its full potential.
Exactly, so I kind of said, like, if I'm going to have a machine that performs under its full potential, I'll buy it used. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it's by that much, though. Probably, like, you know, I don't know, actually. It might be 1%, it might be 10, who knows? Someone knows. Is there anything else in this area that we need to see?
I was gonna say my sheep farm, which is over these hills here. Can you see me? I think I'm visible.
I am flying around in spectator mode. Oh yes, I actually made a mental note to go over the hill here. Go over the Joe Hill.
There are swamps, but I don't think they had clay in the swamps early on, maybe, or...
I remember this. I remember the multicolored sheep. And I feel like there's something more to it. What was the story behind these multicolored sheep?
I made these sheep to build the rainbow over Biffa's base as a covenant that we would never cover it with water again.
That rainbow is, I think, one of my favorite moments from this season.
You want to go to Biffa's base now? Let's.
I have the teleport for it. First of all, I see some redstone going on over here. So you built this as well, right?
Yeah, this was a floodable wheat farm that I whoops, and I'm placing a sign instead of opening the door. Good job, Joe Hills. Yeah, this is a floodable wheat farm. The idea was that like it would take me forever to shear all these sheep, and so I would just keep these chunks loaded while I was shearing them, and then be able to harvest
yes,
the grain at the end as well. And this is a water-based design where it would we had one set of pistons. It looks like. Where's the switch for that?
it looks like you might have still been building it upwards.
It should run. Let me see if I can find the switch. It might be down inside here in this.
Oh, you got it. Oh, something happened.
Okay, I flooded the lower tier, but it doesn't look like the signal
found the redstone
went all the way up.
Oh wow! I mean, the redstone sort of goes in and out of the building.
Yeah, the redstone used to go all the way up, and for some reason it's not doing that now.
Oh, they change things, don't they? So
yeah,
it's quite likely. Oh, and it looks like it's broken some stuff down the bottom here.
These things happen.
Right.
You know, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're not gonna. If anybody's gonna vandalize my base, it's me.
Ha! There we go. I've just shown it in action. Excellent. Very cool. All right. So, anything else here before we travel to Biffa's area?
Well, you know, I guess I did have an underground cave. Sorry, like, it's funny because, like, I didn't plan on spending a bunch of time here in particular because I wanted to show everybody stuff, but now that you mention it, there was an underground cave. I had built an ender pearl jumping thing to get out of it, and where was the entrance to that? I feel like it was somewhere right around here. Probably this giant pit. Oh, yeah, because of course if I'm going to build an ender pearl elevator, I'm going to have it go to the top of a hill, not to sea level, because I'm an idiot.
Aha.
Yeah, this was my expanded redstone lab down here. And I remember I built a bat pole where, like in the old 60s Batman, it would have dispensers that would put armor on you as you went down the pole.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
And I, of course, cannot find it now, but I thought it was a cool idea. I would really think it should be over by this pole, because this looks like... Yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah, so then you fall down here, and then it puts armor on you, which I don't know how to see because I'm in creative mode, but yeah.
It might have been out of stock, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
core concept.
That used to be a thing way back when. You used to have... I remember making some. I had so much fun back in the day doing redstone contraptions, and I made a machine where when you died, you'd respawn at your bed, but you'd be on a pressure plate, and it would just give you a new set of armor, and it would give you all the items. Oh, it equipped you, by the way. It equipped you with some leather armor, it would seem.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be an actual Batman outfit from the 60s. In the 60s, Batman had blue hat and or blue cowl and blue boots, and then gray suit. So this is actually a Batman outfit.
That's awesome. Adam West. That was the guy, right?
Indeed. Yep.
Okay, so before we shoot over to Biffa's, should we do some noises in here?
Yes, sure. Let's see. I have thank you to Scott for the donation, as well as to Ginger the Lily. Thank you guys both very much. And to you, Xisuma.
Awesome. Let's see. We have Alf Lington subscribing. I've got cheers and bits from Voyeurist and Vecrom Sadistrict, and also Mukkev24. So thank you to all three of you for those bits. We have Lazy Zombro and Cow910 subscribing as well. So thank you to all of you. I appreciate it ever so much. Also, my chat is requesting an eye break because we're on the hour point of the stream. Do you know what the eye break is?
Oh, is that where you take an iPhone and you see how high in the air you can throw it without breaking it?
Oh, that game? No, it's not that game. It's the other sort of eye break where I encourage my viewers to stop watching. Can you believe that?
Oh, very smart.
I tell them to look away, and then I scold them for looking at their phone or checking their email.
Oh, I've got a gimmick too. When I have a small victory, I ring this bell.
Oh, cool. I like it.
But yours sounds a lot more health focused. So
Yeah,
let's do your
it's
thing.
just a play on like don't stare at a computer screen for hours. Like get 5 minutes, and then it leads on to other things like opening the window and getting fresh air. And I'm not going to do it today just because we only have this opportunity to do the. Well, we could do a tour anytime, right? But today's the day to do a tour and not to do an eye break.
Fair enough.
We got to go over here first. So that's your rainbow over Biffa's bowl, and
I like to think of it as everyone's rainbow.
It's everyone's rainbow. I like it. There's also signs over here as well. This rainbow is a new symbol of a new covenant between Biffa and his 2000 and America. We will never cover all your base with water again, we promise. Your friends Hypno and Joe Hills. So yeah, so in terms of Hermitcraft history, you're here in Biffa's base and you're looking at the finished product, but Biffa's base is a place where things happened and there was evolution, right? A very eventful place on the server. There never used to be anything here. It was just a stronghold and ocean. And back in the day, we had cheaty sand machines that could duplicate sand. And we would build loads of these machines over Biffa's base and slowly fill it in. And then one day, is the first thing you did on the server, Generikb and Hypno roped you into filling his base back up with water again after he had drained it.
Yeah, he had drained about half of this.
Yeah.
And what we did in order to make it look convincing was we just did a top layer of water. We didn't actually start at the bottom and do source blocks all the way up. We did a layer of dirt, 1 block down.
Yes.
And then covered that layer of dirt with water. And then we ran around with shovels and removed all the dirt, which then dumped all the water into the whole thing.
And it
So
looked
Biffa would
really
log
bad.
in.
It looked really bad when you first saw it. It was like, oh, it's all just been filled back in, has it? Oh.
Yeah, you could tell that it wasn't source blocks. And he was just like, whoa. But, we felt bad. Well, Hypno and I felt bad. Generikb has no qualms about anything. But Hypno and I felt bad, so we built him this rainbow as a classic biblical covenant that we would never cover his base with water again.
I love it.
It's one of those things like, everybody, when people put in a prank, there's this expectation like, oh, they're just going to tear it down. I love the idea of building something in somebody else's base that actually makes it better in such a way that they say, you know what, I'm going to keep that. He definitely wasn't going to keep the water, but he kept the rainbow. And
Yeah.
7 years later, here it is.
Do you remember the UFOs over my base?
Oh yeah, was that Cilantro that did that?
That was you. I'm sure
Or was
of
it me? Oh yeah.
See, that was...
I think Cilantro built a UFO over my base, and then that gave me the idea to build it over your base. Or
Yeah. Well, you see, if you remember, I was notoriously bad with being pranked. Generikb pranked me, and I didn't find it funny in the slightest. And so no one pranked me, but then you did, and then it came to that point where it was like, okay, I've been pranked, take down the prank. But I kind of didn't want to. I really liked having this UFO over my base, But removing it was kind of the thing that would eventually happen. But yeah, I agree. I like the idea of it being something you can keep. And I think Keralis is like that as well. Keralis came over here and built a gorgeous little house held up by balloons. It's like the movie Up. Is that a Disney movie?
It's Pixar, so I think it's Disney. Disney owns everything except Hermitcraft at this point, which is why people should give Hermitcraft their money. Please.
Disney, it does appear to be owning a lot of things. That is true. I mean, they own Star Wars now, right?
Yeah, and they bought ABC, they bought Fox, they bought ESPN, they bought.
Do you know what would be the
Marvel?
real power play if they brought Amazon? Okay, then we might as well just rename the world to Disney at that point.
No, well the thing is, Amazon has more money than Disney.
That's probably true. Who knows? Oh. So yeah, this is it really. This is what this base became, right? Like, it all got hollowed out. I'm sure there's lots of little projects and stuff tucked away. There's a storage area, a mob farm in the middle that drops above the end portal, which you can use to get to the end. Did we build anything in the end? Did we do anything interesting over there? I can't remember.
We should go see. I don't even. How would you? Where is the end portal actually?
It's just above you, below.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, below the.
Oh, that's right.
thing. I'm just trying to have a quick look and see if Biffa had any projects hidden around, but I think it's all just in the bowl. All the things you see are the projects. So how's the Season 1 end looking? Is it a wreck? Okay, there's sheep. I did not expect to see sheep here.
Okay, I forgot that we had done... There was something where we put snowmen in the end because they made the Enderman teleport around, and it was just funny. I don't remember what the thought process was there, but I'm glad we did it.
I think the idea was the snow would cover the ground and stop things from spawning on that one. There's also a farm. Ah, an Enderman farm. Oh, this goes back. Actually, I want that.
Yeah, I remember. I think this little cobblestone thing that you stand under and hit the Enderman might have been mine, because this is a design I've used in Super Hostile before, where it's just like a tiny mushroom, super simple, but it's all you need, technically.
So I think you're at a different Enderman farm. The one I'm at has loads of hoppers. I think I installed these hoppers when they were added, and then I think I installed a minecart that goes back and forth, and then you just sit and click, and you get loads of Ender pearl drops. Yeah, this was me, this bit. Huh. I'm gonna TP me to you. And there's a big old tower over... Oh, is that... Okay, that's where I just was. So the cobblestone you found was between the pillars?
No, the cobblestone I found was... there's this little... it's over by the exit. Just this little mushroom here. Which is really all you need to get ender pearls. If that's your objective.
Yeah. Also, just looking around here, like, the obsidian pillars are not in a circle. I sort of forgot that they were kind of random, and...
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Well, and I think this was before you could respawn the dragon multiple times as well.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, you could do it once. That's why it always used to be a group event, really. It used to be a big deal to do it as a group, because you would do it the once, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we go back through this, are we going to end up wherever our beds are set?
Yeah, and like mine is
I wonder where my spawn is.
Mine is 20,000 blocks away from spawn, 25,000 even, and I know what this is. So towards the end of the season, when I was like not really playing on here that much, I think there's like a period of 2 months where I sort of did like 1 episode a week. Anyway, me and Biffa like went on this epic journey to get horses, and I think I've just respawned at a bed that's like gazillions of blocks out where we were searching for horses.
Yeah, that is one thing I loved about like early Minecraft days, was the random terrain generation. It was just as good as it is now, but like we had more of a sense of awe about it.
Oh,
like,
yeah, definitely.
I miss this about us, not about the game. I miss that we were so young and excitable, and I want to try to channel that excitement in my life wherever I can, you know?
I totally know what you mean. It's kind of what happens, though, when you get old, is some of the things that you love you get used to, and they just don't feel as fresh anymore. But I still get excited with a Minecraft update, you know? It really reinvigorates the interest, having all these new things to tinker around with.
Well, and that's one of the reasons that I've been avoiding reading about the snapshot much, because when we do add it to the server, I want to just be able to wander around. Like somebody mentioned that we have pandas now or something.
Yeah.
Like I would have been surprised that there were pandas. I would have been like, why is there a weird dog here? Oh wait, this is a panda. No one tell Cleo or Good Times with Scar.
Do you want to hear my panda joke?
Sure.
They're pandering to the Chinese audience. They actually added the panda because of all the new Chinese players, which is fine by me. I think having pandas in the game is awesome, but opportunity for a little joke. That's a Joe Hills joke right there, I think.
It's more, if it was a Joe Hills joke, it would be a Joe Hills pun. But you know, maybe if we get enough Peruvian players, they'll add like guinea pigs or something.
That's it. We should just start petitioning that for all the different groups of players, they get something added.
1 second, Dex. My daughter just woke up. I need to get her some food. So if you want to read your announcements or whatever, now's a good time. I'll be 3 minutes.
Okay. I feel like pranking Joe. But it's creative mode on a world, so what would be the point, eh? Oh, do you know what I'm gonna do? He's gonna come back to lava. Oops. There we go. That'll look interesting. So we've got noises in the ear from I Love Cats doing cheers and bits, saying, are there animal breeding chambers? Let's have a look. If we TP Xisuma 550, this should be somewhere near spawn. Here we go. So there was actually animal breeding chambers back here. For those of you that don't know, in fact, if you want to know, there's a video on my channel called The Evolution of Animal Breeding. That video covers all the iterations of animal breeding. Like, you know, today you're used to, like, a new mob gets added and bam, there you go. Most efficient farm you can do in one go. But there was a time when we didn't know all the different ways to do stuff, and animal breeding went through many iterations, and this was one of the ones that I came up with here on Hermitcraft. I seem to remember it having some flaws that I couldn't quite figure out, but the idea was that you used the water to keep them away from the edge, and it allowed you to go in and go out. Now that was before we had fence gates and other little tips and techniques like putting a carpet on top of a fence post. So I seem to remember there being some redstone here as well. I don't quite know why or what. It's so long ago. What is the redstone here for? It looks like it's to stop the water from pushing in. Who knows? There you go.
Well, apparently it's not to keep the lava out. I can tell you that. Where are we?
I had to prank you while you were gone. And I thought...
Oh, pranks a lot, Xisuma.
Pranks a lot, yeah. Being covered would be interested. UGM Trash says the redstone was for killing them. I don't think so. Anyway, we're just looking at some old redstone stuff. I've got a place for us to go visit that you're going to love, because a lot happened in this area.
Sure.
You can tell me whose place this was.
Oh, this is Dmax. I love this
not
place.
Dmax.
Wait, no?
No.
Oh, this is Topmass's?
Topmass, yes.
I really thought this was Dmax's base. Is this Topmass's?
What is this? There's a sign here saying Topmass, this looks like your face, and then a chest with an egg in it, or... I don't remember doing that.
Well, maybe this is Topmass's base, but I really
Oh, it's definitely Topmass's base. So, yes, Pierre. Do you remember Pierre? Murdered by I Am Spoon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is where he was buried. The pork chops are resting in the mausoleum here, but we will leave those remains undisturbed. And, yeah, we had a great little group recording event for that, I remember. And then Topmass came on and built a bridge going across here. This was really great. This was really great. I mean, it might not look so interesting now, but 7 years ago, this was an awesome bridge design. And, you know, then we just had Topmass filling up this area with loads of builds. It's a very populated place.
I love this library in particular. You know, it's got a little rooftop cafe up here with brewing stands. I guess we did have potions by the end of the server. Huh.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to figure out what we started with and ended up with. I got a feeling back then that updates came out quite frequently, and we were probably spoiled to like 3 or 4 different updates, it seems.
Oh, yeah. We had several updates on the first season server. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm so excited about having the update to the Season 6 server, because I missed that with Season 5. We just didn't get a big update in the middle of the season.
No, we didn't.
But
dude, I am so looking forward to it. I've already like written down like a massive list of ideas and things that I want to do, and just feels like a whole new like depth to the game gets added when they bring out the update. You know, so many more things to do. There is a build here on the left. Do you remember who built this over here?
Oh, you're just gonna keep embarrassing me.
Sorry, I'll stop with the questions if you want.
Who did build this? I'm guessing not Topmass, because otherwise you would just be like, here's another of Topmass's builds.
Exactly.
It looks kind of like a Keralis build.
Oh, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Did I? Oh, great.
Yeah, and it looks like he did a bit of custom landscaping over the side here. But this is Keralis. This is one of his best builds, I think, this season. Although, obviously, he's got his base, which we have to go check out.
Oh, of course. I love this little pool with the little lounge chairs. You know, that is one thing that we don't really have in Hermitcraft is the ability to lounge. And, you know, as someone who enjoys lounge music, that really especially hits me two ways.
Oh, that's great. I'd like it if we could just click on those and have a lay down animation like you do on the bed, you know? That would look cool. I think this might be an iron farm over. Like, this looks like an iron farm gone wrong. What is going on here? Oh, there's a breeder.
I'm not sure.
There's something alright. Oh. And then, yeah, Topmass's tea shop, or probably coffee shop, right?
Yeah, it looks more like a coffee shop, but I don't know.
Cocoa beans,
You might have been pandering to the British. I was going to say, if Mojang wanted to pander to the British, what animal would they add to Minecraft?
Oh, goodness me. I don't... Is squirrels uniquely British? The old tree rats?
We have squirrels in America. I was thinking, like, are there any, like, things on your royal arms, like lions or something?
Maybe, but I'm ignorant, so...
Oh, that's okay. I don't know anything about your government either.
People in chat are saying badgers, and I also saw someone say pigeons.
Yeah, we do have pigeons in the United States, but yeah, badgers are something I associate with the British. That's
What
true.
about rabbits and hedgehogs?
Ooh,
Foxes?
a hedgehog would be interesting.
A magpie? There's so many things coming through now. Swans?
Yeah.
For
America, they'd probably add, like, giant eagles. And,
oh, yeah, eagle, definitely. I can see that.
That'd be fun if you're walking on the side of a mountain and an eagle just swoops down and knocks you off it. I'm guessing this is an exit.
Yeah, this is, one of those old ender pearl elevators. I think I helped Topmass build this. I did come over here and collaborate with him on some projects a couple of times. I remember that.
See, this is interesting because this area reminds me... a lot of us used to have kind of sketchpad areas inside the game. Yeah. Where we didn't use separate creative worlds. You know, kind of like how I had that big underground redstone lab. Like, there wasn't much in there when we went, but I would throw together an idea real quick, see if it worked, and then come back to it.
See, I wasn't like that, but yeah, people did that a lot. I was one to have creative worlds and do things and then come over to Hermitcraft and do them again in survival. I've always really liked that, just because I find, like, trying to figure stuff out in survival, like, feels unnecessarily slow. Maybe not so much anymore, though. Just back then, perhaps. I got a message in chat saying, are you in creative? We're doing a world tour and a world backup, so... like, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, I think it doesn't matter that we're in creative. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, and it would have been cool to use the train system, but the fact that the portals are all kind of messed up... Oh, I like this little chapel-looking building here.
There's quite a few really cool-looking buildings around. Are you heading over the hills?
I'm, like, right behind you.
Oh, okay. And throwing eggs.
Yeah, apparently I was like, I'll just toss this egg at Xisuma, but then apparently because I'm in creative mode, it just keeps throwing them, which was not what I was trying to do.
Oh, whenever you give people creative mode, eventually some form of, like, TNT breaks out or excessive mob spamming. It's inevitable.
Oh, yeah.
So this wasn't just Topmass's home. This was also home to his friends, the Pixel Nerds. Do you remember those guys?
Mm-hmm.
So they were like a trio who recorded and played together and made funny videos, and they kind of moved into this area behind Topmass. I believe it starts with this building. The Tower of Watchy Watchy.
Tower.
3.0. Again, lacking decor. Well, not really. I just reminded of how there's so much more stuff to decorate with these days. Mm-hmm. Oh, hello.
I don't think there was a recipe for mossy cobble yet either. So anything like this, you had to go find, an actual, what do you call it, spawner area.
And strongholds. I remember I used to spend ages just mining all of the blocks in a stronghold to get the mossy ones. And then, sometime later they just added a recipe for it.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, I appreciate it. It's nice having the recipe, but
it
definitely feels like a different time.
Yeah, it's convenient, but it continuously feels like in this game there's a little bit less of this. I have to go do this thing just to get something to build with, right? Like everything's just a little bit more accessible these days.
Mm-hmm.
So in this area, they have some really cool things. By the way, my follow noises are going off in my ear, so I'm going to be a good streamer and encourage anyone who's watching who isn't followed to follow me and follow Joe as well. Mods, could you be so kind as to put a link to Joe's channel in chat? Not just on Twitch though, right, Joe? You stream on, I think, 3 different platforms at once?
I stream on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube simultaneously.
Well, there you go. You got your best choice there, which one you want to watch from.
Yeah, it's funny because I used to stream on Twitch years and years ago, primarily, but people wanted to use Mixer, they wanted to use the YouTube thing, and I found like having 3 chats side by side, they actually all run slower, so it's easier for me to keep track of what everybody's saying because I have 3 separate windows.
That's cool. I can't stream on anything but Twitch, unfortunately, because I signed a contract with them. I say unfortunately.
Yeah, they won't offer me enough money to do that.
Yeah, so there is a build here. Are you with me, by the way?
I'm up in the sky by all these cool things. Where are you?
Okay.
Oh, I see you down there.
Yeah, so this one here, I love this. Stairway to Heaven. Every time they got a donation, they used to just add an extra step on the Stairway to Heaven, right? It just goes on and on and on.
This is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal this, because I've been thinking I need to make a Patreon monument for Season 6.
Yeah.
And I wanted to wait until we were far enough into the season that we actually had materials to build something cool, but this is so simple and elegant. And I kind of like the idea that every time I add a patron, I jump off it. And then
die.
Yeah. But it's like, but you know what? Patrons give me new life.
That's it, yeah.
It works on multiple levels.
You got a full
because
concept.
It has stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really... it's just one of those things I remember from Season 1, the Stairway to Heaven. So they got a bunch of cool floaty builds around here. Some of it's kind of unfinished. And then I think they got one other build I remember being remarkable for some reason down here. What is this? There's lots of lava. Oh, right, it's a nether portal, isn't it? Yes. This was common, the whole bring the nether into the overworld. That gets done quite a lot. I always like that idea.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I think part of that might have been that that was originally hinted that the nether portals would cause corruption.
Yeah.
Like when they were first announced. And so it was one of those things where it's like, oh, cool, I wonder what that would look like. And everybody tried to concept out what that could be.
Yeah. There were a lot of things Notch said would happen that didn't.
That's okay.
I think it's just one of those things. When you're really excited about something you're creating, it's so easy to just stockpile tons of ideas. And then when it comes to doing it, by the time you've like knocked some of them out, those other ones just feel less fresh and less interesting later on. That's my experience with doing big projects. Anyway.
Yeah, it's easy to overpromise a lot of things, especially because, like, thinking about ideas is free. Yes. Implementing them takes time. And what I've realized is because I'm so time constrained with my day job and taking care of my family, it's easier for me to make a Minecraft episode where I talk about a concept than where I just build a model of the Notre Dame Cathedral or something, you know? And so it's funny because I'll sit there, I'll have an idea and I'll be like, I have no idea what to do with this idea. And I'll write it down. And then 3 hours later, I'll be like, oh, I'll just talk about it in a Minecraft episode.
Yeah.
That's the furthest I can take that idea. But you know what? Thousands of people will still get to enjoy it. So it got something done, you know?
Well, that's a great example of being able to channel your creativity into the correct place, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like I've been in environments where you're with other people trying to come up with, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, but you have to stop and go, hang on a minute, like look at how much time is this? It's all good sitting here now and having these ideas, but how much time does it add up to when you make it? And it's
Hmm.
always a lot more than you expect. This here, by the way, is one of my animal farm designs. Topmass wanted like a pig farm over here, and I'd released a video on it, and yeah, you'll remember, Joe. I used to be the animal farm guy.
Oh yeah, George Orwell we used to call you. George Xisuma Orwell.
I knew it. As soon as I said animal farm, I had a feeling you'd go in that direction. Brilliant.
It's that low-hanging fruit. Not much I can do.
Low hanging fruit. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant stuff. I got a couple of noises in my ears here. Got a resubscribe from someone with a Chinese character name. I have no idea what that means, but thank you so much for 2 years of support right there. And I've also got I Am Chill Dude throwing some cheers and bits at me. So thank you again for the support, peeps. Truly do appreciate it. Is there anywhere in particular you'd like to go? Oh, sorry, Joe. Yeah, of course.
Oh, I was going to say thank you to Samuel Fisher for the $2 donation. And that's it.
There we go. So would you like to go somewhere in particular? I have Dmax base on teleport.
Well, I thought this was Dmax base, embarrassingly. So, yes, let's go there so you can show me what I've been missing.
Okay, awesome. Wait, I didn't teleport you, did I?
I just teleported myself. I'm getting used to this F3N thing that you talked about.
Ah, yeah, spectator mode. You can use it to teleport. It's very, very helpful.
Oh yeah. This now that I'm looking at it, you're right. This is Dmax space. It's funny how stuff like from years ago can get messed up, like jammed together in your head. One thing too, Xisuma, is like if you ever have kids, after the first 3 months of our daughter not sleeping through the night, it just was messing with my memory, my motor skills, my ability to function as a human in general.
Yeah.
And I was telling my friends, like, oh, I'm so glad that we had this kid when we were so young because I don't know if I'd be able to bounce back later. But after 9 months of her not sleeping through the night a single time ever, I was telling all my friends, guys, just wait 10 years if you want to have kids. They'll have those Gattaca babies that sleep through the night.
Gattaca.
They genetically modify them, and you'll be... Because so like there are just entire pieces of this whole server where I'm looking at them and I'm like, how could I have forgotten that? And I'm like, I know how I forgot that. I know exactly.
Well, yeah,
how
you
I
had a
forgot.
baby turning your life upside down. It's totally understandable, I think.
Yeah,
Totally.
it makes a huge difference.
It does indeed. There's some interesting stuff over this side. There's like a little... Now this, yeah, okay, something's coming back to me here. Didn't someone spend their time like setting up at different people's bases and like living there for an episode? I think this is the evidence of that.
This is a beautiful little fire pit. Like honestly, if I would love to have one of these in real life. Like
yeah, it would be quite
just
nice
to be able
wouldn't
to
it? Sit next to a fire.
Oh,
Fire is like a very, I think, deeply satisfying primitive thing. Like everyone likes to sit near a fire or have that warmth and look at the flames. Like if you think about it, fire was a huge game changer way back when. When we first figured out that we could make fire and control it, oh, it's such a game changer. I remember it so vividly.
well, and we had fire tick turned on this server too, so it was possible to accidentally burn down a forest.
Oh
if you
yeah.
weren't careful.
Oh yeah, I know all about that. I used to play on a server before I had my own server, and yeah, way before making videos. And the admins were just, I don't know, people who didn't really care, right? They just sort of wanted to do what they want. They like to cheat. They like to kick people off and tell people that they have the power to kick them off, that kind of thing. So I was playing on there and I was really excited at first. I was like, wow, this crazy weird game, Minecraft, and I'm like logging onto a server and looking around and seeing all this crazy stuff. And then there was a fire happening near where I was building, and it spread over to some trees. and then the trees started to burn down for days on end. And if I remember correctly, they just decided to blame me for it and kick me off.
Oh no!
Oh. But it was just one of those classic Minecraft things where, like, yeah, after a particular update, forests would just start burning if there were ever fire near them, and they would spread for like chunks and chunks and chunks, and never get put out.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think was so appealing about this game early on, though, was that, yes, you could shape the landscape, but the landscape would also shape itself. Creepers, forest fires, lava flows, all sorts of things could happen. You know,
I so thought
like in
you were
SimCity,
get like philosophical. Jeez, I don't know what that word is, but I thought you were going to say that the landscape would change you. You know?
Well, I mean, I try to reflect the landscape in everything I do, but you know, that's just my way.
There it is. Sorry, I totally cut you off. With my
Oh no, I was
stupid
done.
idea.
That was a complete thought.
Oh, okay.
It was time for you to talk. You did great.
Alright, awesome. Well, Dmax Space, we should probably talk about it a bit. So, what you're looking at here was... I'm not sure if this is the biggest iron farm that you could build, but it was 8 in total. There's quite a lot of work. And I believe... like, you can see a couple of projects out here on the surface, but I believe the best of Dmax Space was actually underground. And... I think you just fell down through the middle to get there. Oh, and he built it above a portal. I forgot that. And there's a silverfish spawner here.
So I'm guessing you didn't just fall down to get here, because you would definitely have either died or gone into the end.
Well,
either
I'm in creative mode, so I can land on my feet.
Oh, I get that. I'm just trying to say. I'm saying he probably had some separate mechanism for himself.
If you were in survival.
Yeah, he must have.
Yeah, maybe he had a different... Okay, there's actually, like... There's an area underneath the platform we were on a moment ago, but I don't think that's... Yeah, he must have had something going on to get down here. Interesting, I didn't think of that.
Well, he does have a portal down here, so maybe he would just come through the nether. Maybe he just had, like, 2 separate portals. One for up top and one for down low.
Yeah, There's also a ravine somewhere around here that has a secret entrance to his iron farm, and I really want to know if I can find it and remember it, because it's so long ago. But he showed me the secret entrance. Okay, this...
I think we all liked secret entrances a lot more in the first season, because I had a ton of builds that had explicitly concealed or difficult to reach places. I think partially because I didn't trust Generikb. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I see 4 iron golems over here.
I actually remembered it, like, perfectly. I just don't know how to activate it. Oh, I bet it's hidden behind the water. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. I remembered all these years later where it was in just some random cave to the block.
Wow.
You have been spooned. Also, your base is mean to me. It looks like I Am Spoon was here and has filled up Dmax farm with melons.
That sounds like an I Am Spoon thing.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Oh, I accidentally... I say accidentally, because I didn't mean to make I Am Spoon mad. I was just trying to prank him.
Yeah.
But I accidentally made him so mad one time. Because I found, I was one of the only people in the first modded server that we did that was using Topmass. And Topmass had some sort of wand where you could replace blocks, like find and replace, right? So you'd put something in your hotbar, and then you'd hit something, and then all the blocks that were adjacent that were the same block would be instantly replaced with it. And he had built this gigantic snow igloo, and I replaced all the snow with melons in like 30 seconds.
I thought he would have liked that.
I thought he would too, but he had spent so long building this perfect dome, and he thought that the only way he was going to be able to rebuild it was going to be to individually replace every single block.
And he didn't know about the wand.
Because he didn't know about the wand, and,
that's
like,
amazing.
I was like, no, it's okay. And it's just like, oh, I felt so bad. And that's one of those things, like, when you play with a group of people, it's easy to, like, accidentally hurt people's feelings.
Oh,
and
always, yeah.
it's a continuous learning experience for us being part of a group like this. I think that's one of the biggest benefits of being a part of a group like this, is that we have so many creative people from so many different backgrounds that we have to really stretch our mental models of how other people want to be treated.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to figure out other people and understand how. Like, there's some really fascinating just cultural differences that play out sometimes. Like over here in the UK, it's a very common thing to just constantly apologise. I walked past someone on the street today, and as I walked past her, she went, "Oh, sorry," like that. I have no idea what she was apologising for. The Brits watching will know what I mean. It's like you bump into someone at the supermarket, or someone standing in front of the thing you want, and they'll just say sorry and back away. But that's totally different in other countries.
I took 5 semesters of Japanese in college, and the only time I've actually spoken Japanese to a Japanese person outside of the classroom was I was working this job where I sold laser rangefinders, and we were at this golf pro shop. And I accidentally backed into this Japanese guy who was shopping golf stuff, and I turned around and I saw him, and I went to say I'm sorry, and I said sumimasen, which is the Japanese I'm sorry, without even thinking about it. And he was just he appreciated that I apologized to him in Japanese and kept going. But it's
that's
weird.
So cool.
Yeah. Well, and maybe the person who you saw on the street actually did have something she genuinely wanted to apologize to you for. Maybe she left a mean comment on your video, and she's just like, I'll never meet Xisuma in real life, and then she just sees you and goes, oh.
I was wearing my mask, to be fair. So
when you're walking around in the mask, people are going to recognize you, and they're going to apologize for all the mean comments. That's how it is.
My guess is that she was on her phone. People walk and look at their phone, then they look up and maybe they're close to someone they didn't realise. Do you know what I never do? When someone's walking and looking at their phone, I never walk into them. I always just get out of their way. I've noticed that some people do this thing where it's you shouldn't be looking at your phone, and I'm going to walk, you're going to walk into me now. Look where you're going. It's just no one looking at their phone wants to do that, do they?
No, and what if they have something in their pockets that's breakable? What if they got their glasses there? If you're oh, I'm gonna bump into this guy to make a point. It's well, you might break something fragile. Don't be a jerk. I don't know. And you never know, is this person on their phone because they're really excited about gambling and they want to talk to their bookie, or are they on their phone because their mom just died?
Exactly. Yeah. That's just a life lesson for people in general, is always give them the benefit of the doubt, right? And then when you have the opportunity to ask the question about, hey, you said this the other day, what did you mean by that? Oh, it turns out you just meant something completely different and everything's fine, Yeah. So, dude, let's go to Cilantro's base next.
Sounds great. Yeah, we got 18 minutes left before it's Cleo's... Or it's not Cleo next, it's Doc M, sorry.
Yeah, we have Doc M streaming on Season 6. Then it'll be Cleo doing the world tour of Season 2. I would have loved to have joined Cleo, but unfortunately I'm all tied up.
I've got Easter obligations as well, because everybody here probably already knows that Cleo is one of my favorite people to record with. Xisuma, I have fun, obviously, when I record with all hermits, yourself included. But for some reason, Cleo is just humorous in a way where I cannot maintain my professional discipline to not laugh during the recording. Normally, I can be sitting here and I'll be telling jokes and I'm I'm not going to laugh out loud very much because, it's a courtesy to the people watching. But for some reason, when I'm streaming with Cleo, it's just nope, I give up. You guys are just going to listen to me cackle for 30 minutes. Too bad.
You should do it more often, man. The collaborations are great. I think that's really great when it kind of breaks down your front for recording a little bit. People will love that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a scheduling thing more than anything, and that's just one of those things about having kids, is you just kind of accept okay, well, she's 6 now and she'll be 18 in 12 years, so I guess in 12 years I can do whatever I want.
That's it. She's your responsibility, right? It's not just your life now, it's hers as well.
Yeah, but in the meantime, if I get to stream with Cleo or record with Cleo 3 or 4 times a year, my life is still way better than none. So,
For sure.
I'll enjoy what I can get.
So peeps, if you want to catch Cleo, she'll be streaming on her channel. You can find all the Hermit's channels on livestream.hermitcraft.com. I'll repeat it again, livestream.hermitcraft.com. You can see the schedule there and get links to everyone who is streaming. We do have a couple of unfortunate, I don't know what you have to call them, like rearrangements. So Mumbo is unfortunately unable to make, like you said, it's Easter weekend, and at the time we were sort of like, oh no, we'll figure it out, we'll do it, and yeah, like holidays and family commitments, it always turns things upside down. So lesson for the future is don't do things on holidays, which I feel like is a lesson we had learnt before, right? But
at the same time, you know, there's more people able to watch, so even if only half of us are able to stream, like for the people that really want to see it, it's easier for some of them. I mean, I like the idea that we do some things on holidays and some days not, but I don't know. Also, I don't know if you saw, but Mumbo posted on Twitter, one of the reasons he can't stream is because him and his girlfriend just bought a chapel that they're converting to a house.
Yeah.
And it being Easter weekend, they're going to have so many people showing up in their Easter finest, expecting Mumbo to lead a church service. It's going to be a nightmare. So, good luck to Mumbo with all that.
You made a good point there about it being Easter so more people can watch. So that's a positive. Also, Cleo's watching in chat, and I'm pretty sure I just gave her VIP. It doesn't turn up on my other chat. Oh no, okay, it works. Cleo's VIP there. So everyone go follow Cleo. If you see her in chat, she'll be streaming in a couple of hours. Like after we're done, it's Doc, then it's her. And oh yeah, that was it. So we were talking about rearrangements. So Mumbo won't be streaming the Season 2 World Tour. Scar is unfortunately sick, so Iskal is taking over for Scar's slot. Then the following day, Grian can't stream and Iskal can't stream that day. So Iskal is the last streamer that day, and covering Grian will be Ren. So after Ren does the Season 4 tour, he's then going to basically do a 4-hour stream. So Ren being an absolute soldier there with a 4-hour stream. And also Iskal as well, covering for who's he covering for again? Scar. So yeah, like, you know, the Hermits are pulling in, and we're still keeping the day going, you know, still keeping all the events going, which is fantastic. So Cilantro's base. Cilantro was a streamer. I think was he one of the first streamers that we brought onto the server?
Yeah, he didn't really do much YouTube at all, but I had met him at some conventions, and I'd watched his streams. He had done some super hostile stuff, and he was just always such an impressive guy, and he did a great job of really engaging with his community during the streams. Like, you know, a lot of the stuff that we take for granted now, folks had to kind of figure out, and he was on kind of the forefront of some of that.
Would you be referring to how he talked about his like personal life to some extent there?
But I was thinking also, like, just how interactive he was with the chat while he was streaming, as well. Like, but I mean, he did definitely talk about his personal life some. But a lot of Minecraft streams weren't. He was kind of one of the larger early ones, and so he was kind of figuring out a lot of things about how do you play Minecraft while interacting with the community.
That's interesting. You see, I didn't watch streams, but this guy joined our server, so I went and checked him out, and I watched a lot of his super hostile streams, and I found them really fascinating. Just that sort of live interaction that you have, you know. That was, I guess, my first exposure to the whole streaming thing was through him, and yeah, I really liked his base that he built here as well.
People are asking why they can't give me bits on Twitch.tv. That's because I am not partnered. You have to sign a contract with Amazon in order to do that, and I have not done so.
Yeah, and the contract locks you in, so probably not signing it was a good move. I mean, I have no plans to move away from streaming on Twitch. I love the platform, I love the way it's set up, but what I'd really like to be able to do is occasionally stream on YouTube at the same time, just so I can sort of get to my YouTube people and say, hey, come over here to Twitch, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and honestly, it's really helpful to be able to switch it up. Like, if I decide I want to stream and that particular day Mixer's having technical issues, or Twitch is having technical issues, or YouTube's having technical issues, okay, I just stream to the other ones. Like, I route around the damage and I keep living my life. Because my schedule's so hectic already because of my family. I don't want to deal with technical problems. I just want to go, you know?
I have them every now and then. They'll happen whatever you're on, but yeah, if you're on 3 of them, it's not going to be the same, isn't it?
No, you just shell game it.
So, we've got another place to go visit. This wasn't quite as big as I remembered, but here's the deal. We haven't gone to my place. Oh, this doesn't...
Oh, we had to go to your place.
Well, hang on. If you just come here first, here's another place we have to see. We only got 10 minutes. And I know that I could talk about my place for a long, long time. So what I plan on doing is when I stream tomorrow, I'm probably going to dedicate like 20 to 30 minutes of that stream going over like my part in this season. Since I don't think I could explain everything in 10 minutes, you know.
No, that's fair. But we could at least give people a teaser of what they can get when they watch it.
Well, yeah, we'll end it with a teaser. That's a great idea. We'll end it with a teaser. So we got 8 minutes to talk about Keralis. Look, there's Wifey over here. This is great. Wifey, feels weird calling her Wifey. It was just Mrs. Keralis. I'm not sure if I actually know her name or not. I don't think...
I just knew her as Mrs. Keralis.
Yeah, Mrs. Keralis.
So.
In Minecraft.
But, I mean, a lot of people are private about stuff like that. So that wasn't atypical.
Well, if I did know, I probably wouldn't mention just in case it had been mentioned, you know, in private or whatever. But, Melon and Pumpkin Towers here, I think. Yeah, no, Mrs. Keralis played on here as well. I remember the two of them building a piggy race course or something. And I tell you what, the two of them playing together was great. They did, what was it, like Wife versus Minecraft, and they did loads of stuff on here together. I always loved watching their episodes. They were really good. Really fun. But yeah, Keralis' base, absolutely amazing. Built into a jungle again. We've commented on how amazing the jungle is. Sorry, you spotted a camper.
Yeah, B-Dub's palace here.
Oh, maybe it was B-Dubs who went around setting up... setting up base. There's a Keralis face on the floor. Oh man, look at these gorgeous builds. They still look really good all these years later. And yeah, amazing base.
How sweet the sound.
I remember Keralis moaning about building this tower, like, because it just looks out over everywhere. But that's all it does, just doesn't do anything else.
Well, it's a great tower, though, like, just in terms of the location and...
It's got a nice view, that's for sure. And whenever I reach the bottom, there's the bridge. Cool, this is making me feel sick walking down here. Oh, there we go. I don't think I'm all the way down. Yeah, so you're at it. This bridge right here, this was a really cool build, going from one side to the other.
Yeah, I like how it kind of sags. It really feels like the weight of the jungle humidity and the vines and stuff have accumulated over the years.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, going on the inside, like we commented on this, there's like a lack of furnishing back then. We really didn't have a lot of blocks to create furniture with and add detail everywhere. But it still looks amazing. I got a couple of noises in my ear. Do you want to?
Sure.
Have you got any to read out?
Yeah, I thank you to Winnie for donation, as well as to Eagle Fam. Hey, Eagle, welcome, welcome. Thank you to my YouTube donators, Google user, and Zachary Newman as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Over here, I have some bits from Saphira Moon Arrow. Loving all the memories this weekend. Oh, for sure. We got some old school people in today, it would appear. We got Balfa Azar for 2 months. We got Iron Dakabro with some cheers and bits. Another JT for 24 months, which is a Goldie face in chat. And Emma Lou Didu is here resubscribing for 30 minutes. Thank you everyone for the support. Appreciate it ever so much. And is there anything in this area you're thinking of looking at, Joe?
I think we covered it, man. I mean, well, it's kind of one of those things where it's like we could go into every single building and admire every single little thing, but Given the time constraints, let's head to your base.
Okay, just before we go, there is one thing I had in mind. He built this really cool rail over on one side of the base, and it took you through to another area. And I remember doing something out here for Keralis, but I can't remember. Oh, I think I built him like a wheat farm. Yeah, I built him a wheat farm over here. That was it. Okay, yeah, because he had a little farming station. All right then. Okay, apparently Doc is going live already. He did tell me that he would go live 5 minutes early, so that we would easily be able to transition over to him. Although he might just be playing music.
Doc, I'm a genius.
Yeah, I mean, why have we never discussed that before as a group, right? Like, hey, when we hand over, let's just have like a 5-minute buffer or something like that.
Yeah, well, you know what we could even do is we can hop on the Season 6 server and Discord with him for the handoff, too.
That can, yeah, we can totally do that if he's in there.
If he's in there. Let's go to your base first and tease that.
Yeah, what I'm going to do to tease my base is just take you along the nether tunnel to get there. Did you get teleported here?
I did. It was a wonderful experience. I am.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess you're just following me. I can't see you.
Yeah, I can give myself a corporeal form if it would make you feel more comfortable.
What was that word? Corporeal.
Corporeal. Yeah, it means like having a body. Corp meaning body. It comes into corpse.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna guess this sends me on my way. So, as far as nether tunnels go, I don't think I've ever spent as much time building a nether tunnel as I did this one. It's not interesting to look at when you're riding it on the inside, other than, you know, it's been decorated and there's grass. But maybe the next bit will be more impressive. Kind of. Anyway, it goes on like this for a very long time. But when you get out, this is where you see what's really impressive about it. The lava on the outside is suspending from the ceiling. So my nether tunnel is suspended by lava, was the idea. And I spent a silly amount of time on this. This is before shulker boxes.
What the heck?
Oh, hello.
Hey, Doc M.
Hi, guys. I just tried to log into Hermitcraft. Everything is black. What's going on?
Oh.
Weirdest glitch ever.
You having just a login glitch?
I don't know what that was.
I was on there earlier today, about 2 hours ago, and it was working fine, but we're actually wrapping up the Season 1 tour right now. So we'll join you on Season 6 shortly and hopefully illuminate the terrible, terrible darkness.
So I'm gonna end my stream with this teaser then for my base, because I'm gonna stream that tomorrow morning when I do my stream. A map of my base from above, which has been the inspiration for Season 6, and the nether pyramid there as well. So Doc, before we hand it over to you, we just got to say a couple of thank yous to the people supporting us, of course.
No
Slushy...
worries. There's nothing to see here. I have the weirdest issues. What's going on?
So you're not,
I'm going to see if I can connect to
I'm going to
Season
mute
6.
myself. Yeah.
Okay. Slushy Parsley 7 subscribing. Mond Lee 3D resubscribing for 2 months. Seb CV for 3 months, and Eagle Fam with a donation as well. Thank you everyone so much for the support. I do appreciate it. Joe, do you have any more noises in the ear?
I do not, but thank you for asking.
Well, my people know what to do. Come on, send Joe some love. Like I said earlier, he's been with us since Season 1, old school hermit. And Joe, it's been a pleasure to tour this world with you again. Lots of memories, fond memories, and good times.
Oh, yeah. This has been a wonderful experience. I've been so glad to be a part of such an amazing collective of so many different talented people, and I appreciate that you've been there with me through it for 7 years now.
Yeah, likewise, man.
It's a good time.
It's really been incredible, and not just the group is in us. We got a beautiful community around us as well, supporting us, and being here for the journey, I guess.
Oh, totally. Right. Yeah. I mean, and I know, X, I've hit you with this again and again. But it is so amazing to be able to go out and meet with the fans and attend these events. And so I really do hope you sneak into a PAX sometime and you could just pretend to be like, I don't know, somebody.
Who says I haven't done that already and that we once met at Minecon on a staircase?
Yeah, you know what would be really fun is I could coach you on doing a southern accent, and I could claim you were my cousin.
Howdy, yo. Xil's here, and they're like, "What's the X stand for?" And I'm like,
Xavier. And we'll give you, we'll get you one of those floating wheelchairs like they have in the X-Men. People will be like, "Oh, that's cool cosplay."
Hello.
Hey, Doc.
Hey.
Are you good?
Yeah, it is. It was some Optifine setting yesterday. I recorded some stuff for Game of Thrones. Universal contacted me, and I did some crazy flybys, and I needed Optifine for it. And I think my settings are still weird, but I'll fix it later.
Awesome.
So are you able to log in then? Cause,
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm without Optifine, so flying might be a bit crazy on the server.
Are you live? Because I can raid you and send all the people over.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to send everybody to Doc M. And thank you to Gregory Harris for that last-minute donation before we close out.
You know what I just did? I raided Doc M 77, not Doc M 77 live.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, let me get the actual link real quick.
You do it every
that
time.
Mistake again. Right.
Every time.
That's the end of it, everyone. It continues with Doc, and of course, if you want to see the schedule, livestream.hermitcraft.com. There we go. All right, Doc, I'm going to raid you now. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
I'm raiding you too.